Ron Harris here for MuscularDevelopment.com with coverage of the 2017 Mr. Olympia weekend, brought to you courtesy of High-Tech Pharmaceuticals. Here with my partner in coverage all the way from the United Kingdom, Giles Tiger Thomas. Big day this morning. We actually have judging going on all day today, and it's going to continue tonight. We just wrapped up judging inside the convention center. Today's judging here was, we had fitness, bikini, figure, and classic physique. Things kicked off with fitness, and I was surprised because Oksana Grishina from Russia, she won last year and retired on stage, but here she is again, probably going to win again. Were you surprised to see her back, Giles?
Not really. She's winning for fun. I mean, if she's won last year, she's going to come back and do it again. I think, it's like Dexter said, if I do well, I'll maybe do another 2 or 3 years. Every year they say it's their last year. I think it puts pressure on themselves. I think if she wins, I honestly don't think she'll retire.
Okay. From there, we moved on to bikini. Very large lineup of very beautiful women, but one did stand out. It was Arnold Classic champ Angelica Teixeira. And then the figure. Figure was very competitive this year. Giles is going to talk a little bit about that because he's a little more informed than I am. So who stood out to you, Giles? I saw some amazing women up there. Who stood out to you?
Well, I was here last year, and the top 3 last year, it was the top 3 and everyone else. And I was kind of hoping it'd be different this year, but it's going to be exactly the same. It's going to be Sydney Gillen, it's going to be Latoya Watts, and Candice Lewis. Now, my favorite last year was actually, well, it was Latoya last year, but I really saw great potential in Sydney. Because obviously it's based on, it's judged on 3 poses, the 3/4 turns. Now, yeah. Sydney Gillen had just needed a bit more legs from the front. This year she's brought it up. And for me, she's the clear winner. She looks, I love her shape. I love it. It's just a very, very striking look. But there was 2 others that really stood out to me. That was Jessica Reyes Padilla, number 21 from Puerto Rico. Yeah. Beautiful shoulders, just a very striking look. Absolutely loved her physique. And Chris Bumstead's sister, Melissa Bumstead, she was really good as well.
Yeah. The division has moved so fast that Nicole Wilkins, who was a multiple Olympia champ, wasn't really in the running for the win. It didn't look like today. Mm-hmm. So let's move on to the main event for us, which was, you hold that for me for a second. We had the classic physique. So going into Classic Physique Olympia, of course, the favorite would have to be the reigning champ, Danny Hester. Danny was definitely in the mix, but we also had a couple guys today coming on very, very strong. The young guy from Canada, Chris Bumstead, who we've been keeping an eye on all season. Wow. Chris Bumstead really brought it. Tiny waist, flaring shoulders, those legs of his. What did you think of Chris today?
I thought he was phenomenal. But when he came out by himself, I said to Steve, his oil and his tan, it looks messy. He had too much oil on, which on the screens, it just looked really distracting. So I moved to the front, and the closer I got, he really just jumped out to me. He looked phenomenal. 22 years old, that front lat spread, everything just pops. That tiny waist. The legs are absolutely insane. I love his physique. I think he's fantastic. He's got an amazing future.
Another guy that they were really looking at, and the way he was being positioned in the judging, it looks like he might be in the running to win this thing. Last year's 4th place winner, Breon Ansley, who we just had a video series here on MD, and we've did a feature on the magazine. Fresh on the scene, and this kid has it all. This kid had a complete package. I think they really liked what he was showing them today, and he might be unseating his LA buddy there, Danny.
Yeah, I think he's a definitely front runner. Personally, my favorite was Terence Ruffin.
Yeah.
Terence Ruffin. And Danny Hester, when he came out by himself, he looked phenomenal, but when he seemed to just be he didn't kind of stand out for me as what I would term as a classic physique. He kind of stood out as a very, very good, maybe 212, or a good bodybuilder. So for me, I have a very strong view of what I see as a classic physique, the Chris Bumstead style physique. Terence Ruffin, the way they pose. It's not just about being conditioned and being symmetrical, it's about having that beautiful shape and the classic lines, which I think Terence has got. And Breon. Yeah.
They were also looking at Arash Rabar. He was moved around a little bit too. Some other guys, we had this Relon McDowell Batiste. I wasn't too familiar with him, but wow, this guy had an amazing shape and structure, good size. Good total package. He's going to be in the running for this title in the years to come, if he's not today, for sure. George Peterson, who we saw early in the year from New York, very strong top 5 finisher. And of course, Flex Wheeler came back. Flex Wheeler, what did you think of Flex? Because we all had a kind of an expectation for what he would look like as a classic physique bodybuilder. What was it for you?
I honestly wasn't expecting him to make top 6. He's 52, he hasn't competed in 14 years. I was impressed. I thought he looked great. I think he brought as good a package as he could have brought. I think, when he was hitting some of the poses, you could see the old flex there shining through. I was impressed.
Yeah, it was definitely shades of the old flex there. The lines, the shape, the symmetry are all still there. But like you said, 52. It's hard to go up against these young guys. I mean, think about it. He's more than twice the age of Bumstead for one thing.
Nearly triple.
Robert Timms.
Yeah.
There's a few guys, and Sadiq Hadzovic, who was 3rd place last year, looks like he's going to have a rougher time getting near that placing this year. But it just goes to show you, this division, the classic physique, it's so new, it's growing so fast that somebody could be on top in the first season and then struggling to stay near the top in the second season. It's moving that fast, and it's only gonna get more so that way as the seasons go on. But overall, very impressive group today. I can't wait to see how it all shakes out.
I'm amazed at how fast this class is moving. It's really, it's only been going a year, and even not just in terms of the quality, but the terms of the actual hype and excitement behind this class. I honestly, in 2-3 years, this could be as big as the 212, as exciting as the Open, and already these guys are coming through literally from the woodwork, and they are just phenomenal. I'm really excited about this class because, the last time I competed, it was in the classic class in the amateurs in the UK, and it's I like that kind of classic physique, the small waist, the wide shoulders, the flaring quads, which a lot of these guys brought, and I think it's just going to be such a great class for the future. It really is.
So, like I said, that wraps up the first part of judging today. We're going to be back in a few hours over at the Orleans Arena this evening. We're going to see 212 and open men judging, the main event tonight. So, for MuscularDevelopment.com coverage of the Olympia weekend, brought to you courtesy of High Tech Pharmaceuticals, it's Ron Harris with Giles Tiger Thomas.